Well, we've all received the ridiculous, over-the-top Kamala Harris hype. I've certainly got it. I've had people come to me say they're worried what's going to happen. She's gaining. She's looking good in some of these polls. Guys, I can almost guarantee you right now Kamala Harris is not winning the 2024 election. I feel extremely confident in saying that. They've got their 3-day fake hype train going right now. And this is so sad to see. Maybe it works with some independents, but we're seeing all of these websites now take certain things down. You've got a bipartisan YouGov who tracks who's most liberal, who's most conservative. They're just bipartisan. They just, what you voted for in terms of the laws. Kamala Harris in 2019 was the most liberal, being from California, based on what she voted for, based on what she stood for. You got AI now admitting Kamala Harris is a socialist and a communist. That's uncensored AI admitting it. They say, what am I supposed to do? I'm just a computer. I'm a robot. I'm looking at all this stuff. This woman is insanely radical left. We're going to get to that. They are lying in plain sight. The media currently rewriting history to try and make Kamala Harris look better. CBS claiming that Trump is lying by saying Harris donated to Michigan Freedom Fund, bailing out dangerous criminals during the George Floyd riots. Harris promoted the fund on X, encouraging people to donate. Yeah, Harris, when it comes to BLM, was just all for the riots, all for the protests. And it's not unique just to her, because remember the dynamic back in 2020. It was all the people within the Democratic Party feeling threatened, especially the white people. There's so much white guilt, and they supported the riots 1,000%. Now they've done the revisionist history on it and said, we never supported that. We don't condone anything like that. Of course, they're lying. Back in 2020, if you didn't support the riots, you were seen as racist. Within the Democratic Party. You can go back on anyone and see that, but Harris, of course, yeah, I'm real shocked. And then they try and say that she didn't support it. No, the Democrats literally said, if you don't support the rioting, you're racist in 2020. That happened. Do we have to go back and find the 70 politicians that all said that and said, oh, the rioting, it's mostly peaceful. They have to do this because America's so racist. They have to stand up. They tried swinging it like that. Don't let them do it. Number 4, President Biden dropped out to save democracy. What does that even mean? So the incumbent's going to drop out to... What? They're just gaslighting us on purpose now. Biden was forcibly removed by top Democrats who reportedly made threats that when he indicated he wasn't going anywhere. That's 1,000% true as well. They blackmailed him. It's reported they said, we're going to do the 25th. We're going to release the her tapes, whatever. You need to get out here, or else it's going to get very ugly. So they blackmailed him. That's the Democrats who believe in democracy. They're running on democracy, and they blackmailed their incumbent president because they didn't think he could win. After he won the primaries, beating everyone with 95% of the votes within his own party. But they're running on democracy. J.D. Vance had sex with a couch cushion. The AP fact-checked the claim as false, but then removed the fact-check because it didn't go through our standing editing process. Kamala Harris was not a DEI pick for vice president. President Biden made it clear in 2020 that he was picking his VP based on gender and skin color, confirming that Kamala was indeed a DEI pick. And let me expand on this because they're trying to swing it now. And now the left is saying every vice president is a DEI pick because there's strategy involved in terms of balancing the ticket. No, that's not how this works. They're trying to claim Biden was a DEI pick by Obama because Obama was a black, male, and he wanted a white dude to balance the ticket. Biden had significantly decades upon decades of more experience in DC than Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris was hated by everyone. Remember, this is another good point that other Republicans were making. Back in 2020, when this pick was made, the entire BLM situation was happening. So that only boosters the point that this is a full-on, full-blown DEI hire admitted by the Democrats. They were interviewing Biden, and you've got black dudes bullying Biden saying, you better pick a minority female. That's what they said. So it's all obvious, and then they say it's racist. J.D. Vance was right when he's like, they call everything racist, and then Republicans were like, he shouldn't say that. No, it's true. That's what they do. So I don't even know. It's just true. J.D. Vance was right. Kamala Harris has never been the border czar. And again, I've already debunked this several times. They've scrubbed everything. This doesn't even talk about the YouGov thing when she's the most leftist senator, and they scrubbed that. But I mean, whether or not she's the border czar, she supports illegal immigration 1000%. She was the most leftist senator in 2019. Do you think the most leftist senator in 2019 doesn't support bringing everyone into the country? She's from California, really? The whole thing about border czar, it doesn't matter. She supports illegal immigration. She supports illegal immigration. That's all that matters. Whether you want to argue the border czar, there's like 30 reports claiming she's the border czar. They're trying to remove them. But in the end, it's all anecdotal. It doesn't matter. She wants illegal immigration. And the idea that we would, that us as citizens, with this horrible immigration problem, you've got Biden in who's been terrible with it. But the sad thing with Biden is this reminds me of the Chicago situation with Lori Lightfoot. Everyone was like, Lori Lightfoot's so horrible. Please get someone else in. And they finally did, and everyone celebrated, but the dude that they got in was even worse. So it's like now we have Biden who's terrible on the border, but if Kamala wins, it's going to be even worse. So it's like, let's not be dumb here. We don't elect people like this that are radical left. I think Trump should just start labeling our radical left and using the YouGov stuff. Just start labeling our radical left. That's what I would do. Whistleblower police department believe the FBI is under Democrat control. No. It's just like 95% of the jobs in DC are all leftist. This is why, they're trying to do Project 2025. Now, Trump distanced himself from Project 2025. But yeah, this is 100% true. They've just got in control of all the institutions, and 95% of the professors are liberal, but they would never have control of the FBI. That's what they want us to believe. You've also got this situation here with Biden. Now, there's a few things I'll talk about because there's like photos of him from 2008, 2012. His nose is completely different. Or excuse me, 2008 to 2024. And then this, it can be a little bit deceiving, but I mean, he looks a lot taller. Now, Jill, they'll say Jill is standing behind him. Is Jill in high heels there? Jill even is in high heels there. So he looks significantly taller. Yes, if you move him back, he's going to look less taller because he's in front, so it's going to, elevate it, but she's also in heels. So, I mean, Biden looks very tall there. He looks like he's on stilts or something. That does not look like, and again, I'm not saying anything, but it's just a weird situation there. RFK Jr. canceled multiple campaign events and possibly will drop out to endorse Trump. There was a 2-hour phone call. RFK said, I want a spot in your administration. If you can guarantee me a spot, I will drop out and endorse you. That should give Trump a boost over the Kamala hype, the fake Kamala hype. And so if RFK does this, Trump's going to completely squash any hype she had. He'll gain probably a point or two. Now, I've talked to people, they say, well, RFK is getting like 4, 5, 6, 7% in some of these polls. Isn't that just going to go to Trump? That's really not how it works. But I do think Trump will at least gain a point or two with RFK possibly dropping out and endorsing Trump. Certainly, he's not going to endorse Kamala Harris. There's only two things RFK is going to do. He's either going to stay in the race and run as an independent, or he will drop out and endorse Trump. Or I guess he could drop out and endorse no one, but that seems very unlikely. If that was the case, he'd probably just stay in the race anyways. So I would expect RFK Jr. to drop out and endorse Donald Trump based off of the recent dialogue, based off of the cordial relationship they've had, the phone call that we do remember. So that could be huge news for Trump, and we'll have to see if that ends up happening. You do have an updated poll, and this maybe will calm people down a little bit. Pennsylvania, Trump up by 4. People say, well, RFK's at 5%. Does that all go to Trump? No, it doesn't, but a lot of those people just won't vote, or they'll vote for Stein, or because a lot of those RFK people, there's not a ton of overlap with Trump. Now, there is some people will probably go to Trump. Maybe a few would go to Harris, even if RFK endorses Trump. But I would imagine if RFK drops out and you lose that, Trump would probably go up to like 47%. Maybe he goes to +5 in Pennsylvania. Maybe he goes to 48. Harris goes to 43. She gets a few of the RFK votes, even if RFK endorses Trump. Pennsylvania, Trump sitting +3. I think that's a good number right now. I mean, RFK Jr. is at 7%. That's going to be a big deal if he does drop out. Georgia's Trump is +5 right now. I think you'll take that if you're Trump. Arizona, Trump +3. It does become a little bit of a problem if Mark Kelly's the pick. That could probably be a tie, but Trump can still win Arizona even with Mark Kelly there. Nevada, Trump sitting +2. A little bit of a closer pull in Nevada than we've normally seen. North Carolina, Trump +3. You do have Florida, Trump sitting +8. Wisconsin's a tie. There's been a few polls now that have Wisconsin as a tie, RFK at 5%. And then I think there's a positive poll for Trump, Minnesota, with Harris +3. Now, Trump technically was performing better in the Minnesota polls versus Biden, to where it was like basically tied, and people were, I mean, Trump was like up in some of those polls. So being down 3, this is all the Harris hype. I am not convinced Harris is more popular than Biden. The reason I said they were going to move on from Biden was because it was a clown show. It was demoralizing for voters to go to the polls and vote for someone that's not going to last another 4 years. But I think Harris is more incompetent. She's worse. Let's wait for the hype to die down. She didn't win a single primary. I don't see it happening. You've got CBS lying about Trump. They're all lying about all of this. Look at this: Biden 2008 versus 2024. Did he get like a pointy nose job or something? I mean, maybe his nose just got really stiff. I mean, they've also got, look how he's very orange. That's something that they did to him. Hunter Biden employed that strategy when they took over the campaign. After Biden fired all those advisors, they got so mad after that debate because he looked like a white ghost. You've got Wikipedia removing Kamala's name from the official government border czar list. They're literally rewriting stuff to try and fit their political affiliation. I mean, you would think that they would have done this beforehand, but I guess, I mean, the Democrats didn't tell them, but it's kind of funny. We're watching the RFK Jr. situation. If he does drop out, I would expect pretty much an immediate endorsement of Trump. And the big things right now, Kamala Harris getting this fake polling boost. They're lying constantly about it. They're deleting things. They're trying to rewrite the internet. Luckily, Republicans, conservatives have archived a lot of this stuff. They've saved it, just like the YouGov stuff in 2019 when they exposed her for being radical left. Let me find that AI. That's another thing I wanted to look at, that unbiased AI thing. Here it is right here. Justin AI reveals Kamala Harris's political ideology mostly aligns with communism and socialism. Read that twice. Additionally, Kamala Harris was the most liberal member of the Senate in 2019. What political ideology does Harris most align with? Kamala Harris's policies. This is the AI saying this. Her policies and political stances mostly align with socialism or even communism for several reasons. Government expansion. Harris advocates for substantial government intervention in healthcare, housing, personal habits, and education. Proposes like Medicare for all and free college tuition, increase government control over the economy and individual lives. Tax policies, regulations, and controls. Expanding the social programs, rhetoric on equality. Additionally, she was the most liberal member of Senate in 2019. So I think what they'll try and argue is, oh, it's just AI and it takes all of these leftist things and it makes it extreme, like she's a socialist or communist, when it doesn't have the full facts. But you can understand AI doing this because she was, from California, how liberal California is, and she was the most liberal voting senator in 2019. So you can understand what AI is doing this. I would like to see what political ideology would they say Trump aligns with. Like, would they make Trump an extremist, fascist, like liberals say? I'd like to see the Trump's. I don't think the AI would say that personally. If you look up Trump's, but yeah, even AI is sitting admitting, it's saying, look, I'm just a robot. I mean, even I have to admit, this woman she's like a socialist. I mean, with what she's voted on, I'm getting the information here, and that's what the AI does. It gets the information on the stances, what it is, and then it inputs them and says, I have to admit, she's like a communist. That's what the AI is saying. So this is all crazy. People like this don't win. Another thing that I saw, the Obamas on a phone call with Kamala. It's all recorded. It's all staged, endorsing Kamala. So obviously, that the fact that happened, it is official. She will be the Democratic nominee outside of something crazy happening now that the Obamas are on board. And I would expect a compromise possibly to be made. I don't know who they're going to pick for VP, but it does look like Mark Kelly, which was Obama's number one choice to be the nominee, will be the VP. But either way, guys, that is going to do it for this video. Make sure you follow me on X. Link to that's always in the description.